Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. That never gets old. I love that. Hi, Renee, behind the scenes. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ask Me Anything. Sorry we were running a couple minutes late. I'm in a major snowstorm right now. So if you are also in a snowstorm out there, please let me know in a comment. I'd love to know who else is in a major snowstorm right now. I learned yesterday about a thing called freezing fog, and today I learned about a snowstorm. All the things we learn, the miracles of life, which we'll be talking about Monday with James, the miracles of life. Hi from snowy Wisconsin. Hi, Laura Parmley Hoffman. Hi. Hi, Liz Perez. Hola. Hey, ¿cómo está? Hi, Ardelia from Australia. Hi, Cassidy. Hi, Sarah Stone. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Hi, Renee Martinez. Hey, Charlene. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Stacy. So sweet. Elisa from Massachusetts. I bet you have some cold weather out there. Hey, Julie West. Hey, Marie. Hey, Cindy. So nice to have everybody. Hi, everybody. Hey, Lori. Felicio. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all, too. It is really cold. Janice Peterson says she is in a snowstorm in Upper Michigan. Oh my God. Hey, Kim Ann Snodgrass. Happy snow day, Kelly. Just rained for us. Oh, in Tennessee. You're listening to me and making some French bread. Oh my God. That sounds so great. I love French bread with a lot of butter. I love French bread with everything wine, butter. I couldn't be happier. Well, let's talk about some astrology, shall we? This will be quite a month. This is going to be quite a month that we have, actually. And I want to start with today. Today is the 4th, February 4th, 2021, and it's an 11 day. So in numerology, 11s are significant. So today would have been a significant day on some level. Again, we're having a snowstorm. We're also in a Mercury retrograde, and that goes until the 20th of February. So an 11-day Mercury retrograde, what does this mean? It means today could have been quite a day for you guys. It could have been quite a day for a lot of people. Mercury retrograde brings back old things. It's a time to revisit. It's a time to reflect. Yeah, here you go. See, I just disappeared. That Mercury retrograde and a snowstorm on an 11 day. See, that's how this works. Thank you, Spirit. Um, oh, Ardelia, you said you're feeling so agitated this week. Not sure if it's because I'm back in the office. Yeah, that would probably do it. But not feeling settled. Yeah, I don't think this month is a year. Kim Ann says I'd like to bitch slap Mercury at this point. That's hilarious. Um, yeah, I hear you. James and I always laugh. We were both born with Mercury in retrograde, so it seems that I can kind of go with the hurdles of it. You saw lots of 111s today, Amy Augustine says. Great, great. 111s really are an opening for you. When you see a 111, it's an opening for whatever it is that you've got going in your life. It's a new thing that can open the door. So it's a way the spirit wakes itself up. So this is a really good thing. Oh, thanks, Kim. I have yellow tulips because I went to the store on Tuesday, and it was the first time I've been out of the house in 4 weeks. 4 weeks, count them. I did. And it was great to get out. Really was, I have to say. And I got it back in time for the snowstorm. So it all worked out. Anyway, back to February. February is going to be one for the books. Really, one for the books, as we say. This is a month of I would say a lot of surprises come up this month, because the first thing is on February 6th. So that's on Friday. Is that right? Friday, February 6th. I'm sorry, it's Saturday. Venus, the planet of love, squares Uranus, and Uranus is surprise. So here's what I'm going to say about that. If you're in a relationship, watch it. Watch how you are. Watch how you speak. Watch your emotions. Watch Pay attention, okay? Because that could bring up a lot of issues in a relationship. Okay, so it could be with friends, it could be in a loved relationship. Pay attention to this, okay? Because this is a month where a lot goes on. This month, by the time we get to February 10th, 11th, and 12th, we will have 7 planets in Aquarius. 7. That's a lot in Aquarius. Aquarius ultimately brings collaboration, it brings new age thinking, it brings the new ways for spirituality, but it also can bring a lot of stubbornness and confrontation. And I mean, there's a lot of positives to it, but boy, it's the new way versus the old way. So a year ago, we had all these same planets lined up in Capricorn, which was the old, and we ended up with COVID. Now we are all in Aquarius. So let me tell you about that. It'll be Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, Sun, Mercury. Then it'll be the moon on 10th to 11th and 12th of February, all in Aquarius, plus this asteroid called Pallas Athena. And Pallas Athena is an asteroid that brings wisdom and arts and intuition and justice. So all of this in Aquarius is going to bring a new way of thinking, new way of being. Not the easiest place for all of this, but it's going to be open yourself up energetically to experience new ways of thinking, okay? New ways of being, new ways of thinking. If you are thinking, I'm ready to make a change, this will probably push you into making some big changes, and all changes are necessary for the growth of our soul. So, this is a good thing. And on February 17th, this is the big thing that happens this month. And this sets the tone, what I'm about to talk about. It sets the stage for 2021. And Saturn is going to square Uranus. And Saturn is it's going to be like a conflict between the old versus Uranus, the new way of thinking. It's a divine shakeup. This is on the 17th. It also comes 2 more times this year, and that's on June 14th and December 23rd. So 3 times this year, Saturn is going to square Uranus for this divine shakeup. And the last time something like this happened was 1860, and that brought on the Civil War. So when I say shake up, this could be a pretty big shakeup, actually. And this sets the stage all the way for 2021 for a lot of things politically, relationships wise, financially, and spiritually, because it's going to wake a lot of people up spiritually, which is, I think, is a great thing. But Uranus is a disruptor. It will push us to the outward limit of everything that we ever thought was normal or we thought was correct, and it's going to show us a whole new way. So let me tell you, this is going to be a big thing here this year. It brings up a sudden awakening, and they call it the Great Awakener. So this is a very significant year that I'm talking about, 2021. Very significant, different than 2020. 2020, well, we all know that one forever. And 2021 is different, but packs a lot of punches. Yes, Uranus is in Taurus, right? That's correct, Celeste. Roger Furman says, will Trump come back as president in 2021? No, I don't see that happening. So Lori Schweiss Clem says, I heard the time to start a project or goal is on February 11th this year. Yes, February, excuse me. Yes, that'd be a great day to start something new on February 11th. Yes, great. Go for it. It's got that moon in Aquarius. It's got all of the things going for it that day, and it's an intense day. But it is a great time to do this. Yes, I think it's a great idea. So let's see. And the last thing I want to say is on February 24th, Mars trines Pluto. And that is going to be a very powerful day in itself also. We have many powerful days this year. I'm sorry, this February. Oh, February 11th. Let me tell you about February 11th. I knew there was something I was supposed to say. It's the Chinese New Year. Hello. So it is the year of the metal ox. I'm not sure what that means because I'm not into Chinese New Year's, although I do know it's important. But I do know that it brings stamina to the year. Think of an ox, it brings stamina. And it means to create solid infrastructures. So if you were born in 1949, 1961, 1973, 1985, 1997, 2009, or 2021, you are a metal ox. And I do know this, they get along with fire roosters, and I'm a fire rooster. So for me, I'm not a walk in the park, but it should be a better year. So that's about as much as I know about Chinese New Year. But I think it's very important. So let's see. Melania Stan says, I have a meeting with my boss tomorrow and I'm very nervous about what will happen with my job. Worried and I can't sleep at night. Oh, honey, sleep really well tonight. Okay. And enjoy the meeting. If you change the way the thought is, change it from I'm afraid to I'm excited to have it. It's a big deal. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine with that one. That's a good thing. Kristen Alana says, can you please tell me why I keep saying repetitive numbers? I'm not sure, honey, which numbers you're seeing, and then I could let me know, and then I will let you know. So I want to read that. I've got some great questions, you guys. Thank you so much for all of these great questions. And I'm going to start with this question that Kim Ann Snodgrass asks. And it's a long question, but it's really great. And she says, my aunt tells a story of when I was born and I came home from the hospital. When I was born, my kidneys didn't kick in right away, so they kept me in the hospital for 4 days after my mom left. My mom didn't visit me while I was there. When it came time for me to come home, my dad and my aunt, his sister, brought me home because my mom didn't want to bother making the 20-minute trip one way. My aunt said she held me in her arms and I cried the whole way home. My mother is a challenge, to say the least. Right on with that. Yeah. To be honest, she is someone who should never have kids. So here's my question. In thinking about this event, I wonder if my newborn self or my soul knew what I was in for and who I was about to be handed over to. Do you think a newborn could have sensed this at just a week old? P.S. My mom said she probably had postpartum, but if that's true, she had it for 50 years. So, Kim, first of all, I'm sorry for this whole situation. That must have been it's really traumatic, actually. And if Dr. Shirley were here, she'd be reading this, flipping out. Interesting enough, your kidneys didn't kick in. And I really want to talk about that. Kidneys mean fear. Your kidneys didn't kick in. So did your soul know what was going on? Yes, of course your soul knew. The newborn self absolutely knew. And I'm going to go back a little further. Before you incarnated, the agreement was this woman would bring you in. And you'd think, why in the world would I choose that one? Often, and you're right, she probably shouldn't have had kids, but often the reason that you would have chosen her, you had to have learned about compassion for yourself, compassion for others. You had to overcome fear, hence the kidneys. And so you would have chosen this mother for that. So we all choose our mothers and fathers based on what we need to set us up for our lifetime. And it may sound cruel, it may sound not possible, but we do this. And the implicit memories are there. So if you were to see a somatic person, implicit means that we don't have words for them, but the memory is there. And so that would be part of this too. So I would always, I'm always big on somatic people, somatic therapist. So that's what I would do too. But boy, that's a big one, Kim. Yeah, kidneys equal fear, Yesenia. Yep, that's true. So anybody who has any sort of kidney anything, that has to do with that. So that's a big one. So I really wanted to start with that. And then I'm going to ask this. This is a great question. Autumn B. Wright says, what is the best route for education and protection in mentorship when working with a child who seems to be a natural medium? Number one, encourage them, be loving, teach them, they already know empathy, show them a lot of love, and talk to them about angels. I think angels are the best route for that. Teach them about angels, teach them about spirit guides, talk to them about what they see, keep them very grounded. So that, and a lot of love. They have to have a lot of love. So this is really important. It's a great question. Diana Bird says, loving my somatic work once a week. Oh, bless your heart, Diana. That's so great. Somatic therapy is fantastic, and it really does help get rid of and help work through trauma. And if you chose a life to be here, you're going to have trauma. Everybody has trauma. We get here, some come sooner than later and we have the trauma, but ultimately most of us, all of us, I would say, have trauma when you come here. And so a good somatic experience therapist is a fabulous thing. So Debbie Bloomfield says, to understand if a 3-year-old memory of an emotional time is still locked in today, all these years later, to an unkind mother. Yes. To understand, yes. A 3-year-old memory of an emotional time is absolutely locked in there. Yeah, it would be. Again, it's we would call it an implicit memory, that the memory would still be there. So yeah, good question. Carrie Coddington says, there is a possibility that we will be bringing in friend's child to stay with us temporarily. Will this happen, and will it go okay if so? Oh, I'm not sure. And it's an interesting time. Keep everybody safe, It's an interesting time. A lot of unexpected things would happen. So I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be okay. Yeah. So Marissa Petty says, can you recommend a book to learn the associations between anatomy and emotions? I actually do have one, but I can't remember the name of it right now. But Marissa, I will post it on my site once either later on tonight or tomorrow. I actually have such a book. I just can't remember the name of it right now. But good question. Okay, so Mark Johnson, I always have to answer his questions. He said, oh, I forgot. The 90% of the soul being in heaven thing. So 10% is in the body, 90% is on the other side. Does that mean there are other versions of us we don't know about up there? Yeah, I would say yeah. Yes, this is a small part of our soul that comes in to do the work in this dimension. A small part of our soul comes in to learn about compassion, kindness. Don't throw sand in the sandbox. Be nice to one another. And on the other side, the 90% could be doing all kinds of things because our soul is just enormous and infinite. So that's a good question. So Deb Stewart says, hello, Kellee. When we pass over to the other side, I love this question. Do we stay the age we were at the time of our death? Yeah, I get asked that every day. It's a great question. You can be whatever age you want to be. When we first pass over, you're going to be probably the same age. What it tends to be that I've noticed is everybody comes in younger. So if a mother died at 80, I might see her at 45, 40. They come in at the time that they loved the most in their life. It's my experience that that's what I've seen. Sometimes, but I've heard, I remember the old medium Sylvia Brown, who's passed away. She used to say, everybody's 28 on that side. And I'm like, that's not exactly what I saw. But I think if you enjoyed a certain part of your life or a certain aspect of your life, that's the age you're going to choose on the other side. So, Kim Bracken says Healing A to Z, perfect, is a good book for emotions and physical issues. Oh, that's perfect, Kim. Written by Louise Hay. Great idea. I forgot about that book. Great idea. Thank you for that. Perfect. So, and Anne Margaret, I still love that name. Do we leave our bodies nightly? I swear this morning I popped back in. Yes, we do. We don't, we're attached with a silver cord, so we don't. But yeah, we do. We do. We're always visiting and going and doing when we sleep. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. So let's see here. But let me just look at this question. Bailey Perkins Anderson. I'm currently in the Children's Hospital with my son Brady. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bailey. He has type 1 diabetes and recently diagnosed with Crohn's disease. Oh, his body has been rejecting several Crohn's disease treatments. You said kidneys associated with fear. Yes, on an energetic level. What does an autoimmune disorder mean? It could be also fear. That's a great question. It depends on which autoimmune it is, but autoimmune means your body is fighting. It's fighting for something. So I'm sure it's fear as well, you know. And autoimmune is when we're just either overwhelmed or so fatigued that our bodies just kind of start to fight itself. So good question. I'm sorry about your son, honey, but we'll send him a lot of love and prayers here. Okay. Um, so that's a good question. Okay. Now I have to say this was my favorite question, and people write me such great questions. Thank you so much. Christine Childers, I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. She asked me this question. She said, "What does it mean spiritually and mentally when you have a positive experience that touches your heart in such a profound way that it actually hurts like a broken heart? Do many people experience this? It feels like a strange question, but I've always wondered this about myself. Thanks so much for all you do." Let me just say, that meant so much to me, Christine, that question, because as an empath to another empath, because you're clearly an empath, it means that your soul, you felt it your soul felt it. And when a soul feels something, it could feel like a broken heart. It could feel anything because souls are, you felt it at such a depth, something positive on such a depth. It really touched you in such a deep way. I mean, it's a profound experience. You won't forget that experience ever. And I was so pleased when you wrote that because it really, you're a good soul. You're an empathic soul, and I just love that. I think that's a great question. So thank you for that. Great question. So Janet Gwillem says, "Silly question, but why does anything electrical always seem to break when I use it or around? Brand new dryer will not turn on." Well, welcome to my world. When your vibration starts to rise, electricity starts to blow. And now we're in Mercury retrograde, so it really could be a nightmare with electricity. But when you start out down a spiritual path, which a lot of you have already been on one, but some of you guys are just starting off. When you start on that spiritual path, you're really interested and you're getting it, you're learning so much, and the more you learn and the more positive experiences you have, your vibration starts to go, your life force starts to go up, and things start to blow out. Oh yeah. I went through 7 laptops once, and my mother finally said to me, "Don't touch my computer." So I had to stop using computers. A great way to know that you can take care of yourself is take your shoes off, and I can't do it because I live in Wisconsin right now, but step out, touch the ground if you can. Get earthing is really good for that, for helping with that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to answer this. Liz Heavener asked me this. First of all, Heavener, great name, Heavener. This is a great name. She said, "For months now, I keep dreaming I'm holding or putting a baby to sleep in their bed." Oh, so dreaming of a new baby often means something new that you're going to do. Now, it could mean you're going to have a baby. It could be that as well, but usually it means a new idea of something, that you're just getting the idea and you're, putting the baby to bed and you're just nurturing this baby, this new idea that's going to come in. And you gave me your birth date of March 4th, 1966. And you were a 6 of spades, which is somebody who really takes a karmic life path. And you're a 22. So whatever you're dreaming of, whatever baby that is, it has legs. It's a good one. So Debbie Foster Horan says, "What's the best resource for angelic numbers and their meanings?" Well, I've always said Doreen Virtue. I'm a little hesitant now. She's gone through a lot of changes, but her books still live on, and I think they were fantastic with angel numbers. So I'm going to say that. Um, yeah, Wendy Connolly says, "Come on, walk in the snow, Kelly." Oh my God. So when the sun was out a couple of days ago, and I was like, "Woo, look at me." So I had my big boots on, my big Wisconsin boots, and I went for a walk, and it was kind of fun, It felt really good. Today, no way. But it's pretty funny. It's it is just crazy out there, isn't it? Okay, so Maria Carp Diem says, Spiritual Medium Kellee White, what does it mean when you meet someone? Let's see, where did she go? It was a good one. Oh, when you meet someone who's very attractive and you feel so drawn to them, but also like you've met them before, is this a soulmate or a twin flame or just a feeling? So let's see. It could be all of the above. I mean, let me explain. A twin flame is somebody that is, they call it a very rare experience where you're the other half of them. And I'm not really necessarily a big believer in this. Is it possible? Sure. I don't know this one. I don't know. But soulmate, this person could definitely be, if you felt like you had known this person before, then that's usually a soulmate connection. Now, sometimes we call them cellmates, so be careful with that. But a soulmate could be in your life for, as James and I talk about, a day, a week, a month, 10 years, the rest of your life. It all depends on what you've signed up for. They are always somebody you will learn from. Okay. Um, Nikki Diana says, Hey, Kellee, when will I be in a healthy, loving relationship? I've been working on myself. My boyfriend cheated on me. Keep working on yourself, Nikki. You'll be in a relationship. But when you work on yourself, you would choose somebody with a higher vibration. You choose somebody that is with the right one for you. If you don't work on yourself and you're unconscious about who you are going to pick somebody that's not right for you. And we've all done that. We've all done that. We all know this one. So learn more about yourself. Get excited. Get in love with yourself. Not as a narcissist, as a soul. For a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Thank you, Anne Margaret. Yes. Yes, that is it. That is it for sure. Um, Cassidy Morgan Ciaza says, How can we best confront a parent who is getting ready to transition to the other side? I lost my mother in October to my ovarian cancer. I'm assuming. I'm sorry, honey. And my father, they aren't together, is in stage pancreatic cancer and COPD. How do we help them and ourselves? So great question. First of all, you have to have a lot of compassion for what you're going through right now. Okay. You got to stop the presses right there. You got to have a lot of compassion for what you're going through. How do you confront a parent? Do you want to confront them because you're pissed off all this time? Is it what is it that you want to do? Do you want to say you were a terrible father? What do you want to say? Because, or do you want to see some compassion in, did that father have a lot of trauma? What was his life like? It's a real interesting place right now that you are in, and I really appreciate you sharing this. It's a tough one. And life is not easy, is it? It's just not easy. This is a tough place to be, and you're in a fascinating position here. So, how do you want to, again, if you want to confront them? I've heard some stories you wouldn't believe. But often what happens is you feel just sad. And also, there's a thing about feeling really angry too. So, I'm not sure where you are with this, honey. I don't, not really sure. But how do we help them? A lot of love, if you can, a lot of forgiveness. If you do it for yourself, you do it for the soul. You watch the soul. I mean, you're watching the person suffer. I don't know. It's putting you in a position of becoming the wise woman. Think like that, okay? Think like this, because you'll help other people that find themselves in this situation. I suspect you're an old soul. Okay, thank you for sharing that. That's not an easy one. Veronica Lighthill, my 15-year-old daughter has recently started having vivid, lucid spiritual dreams. How can she mature, grow the spiritual gift? Wow, that's amazing. Well, have her write down everything she's dreaming. Have her keep a dream journal. If she's having lucid dreams, or what do they include? Are they lucid that she knows what's going to happen? And find out, start exploring this with her. I would also, I tell you one thing I might do too, is go to James Van Prague's School of Mystical Arts, and he has all these different programs, and it might be fun for her to take some classes so she really learns what she's doing and what's happening to her, because 15 is a great age to begin this major journey that she's on. Thank you for sharing that. That's great. That's what I would do. I'd go to James's site. So, Renee, should we take a call? Oh, we let it here. Hold on a second. From Michelle Hernandez. Hi, Kelly. I've had a very interesting experience this morning. I believe it was one of my deceased cousins trying to give me a message. Okay. But I haven't been clear what his message was and why he was reaching out to me. Any ideas? I started my day by hitting my alarm on my phone and seeing an email from 2010 from him, and then my phone freaking out. Then my husband and I were getting ready to leave, and my husband couldn't find his wallet. In the 25 years we've been together, that has never happened. Okay. So, Michelle, for certain, your cousin is trying to get your attention. I mean, what is he wanting? Just sometimes they just want to just poke around and say, "Hey, I'm here. Hey, don't forget about me. I'm here." Because if your email just went to 2010, which is 11 years ago, there's that 11, and reached out, yeah, he's just trying to get your attention. I'm not sure exactly what the message is, but pay attention. You'll probably find somewhere. Is his birthday coming up? Is it, I mean, anything like that? Sometimes they just like to, I don't know, say hello. It happens. That's a great story, though. Thank you. Renee, should we take a call? No. Yesenia Majaro. I had a dream that I told someone everything bad about them. Oh, was that a dream? Everyone who agreed that they needed to be told were not happy with me afterwards. I ended feeling awful in my dream. So telling them the truth about them only felt good for a minute. Well, let's put it this way. That's probably how you really feel, right? Because you had a dream that you were just slamming them all, right? It's a good place to get your that energy out, frankly. Um, that yeah, I bet it did feel good in that moment, right? If only. I mean, maybe there's a way you could say some things about them to them in a real calm state. But that gives you a big heads up how you feel about them. That's funny. Should we take a call?
Yes, sure. Yeah, we have one
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Melissa. Hi, Melissa. I'm bringing you in the show. So go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Melissa. Hi, Melissa. How can I help you? No? I guess not. Renee? No?
Yes. Hi.
I don't think Melissa's there.
Yeah, Melissa is in the show.
Oh,
Melissa?
hmm, I don't
Oh,
hear her.
no.
So that's
That's
okay. Mercury retrograde strikes
Mercury
again.
in retrograde. Yeah, she was in the show, but
Oh, well. I'm
she's gone
sorry.
now. So
Sorry, Melissa. Okay. Well, then I have another question. Um, so let's see. These are some good ones. Mark Johnson says free will still makes no sense to me. I know. Who thought of that one, right? So if I decide to jump in front of a train, was that already planned in a contract before? Okay, that's really funny. I don't know how to answer that, but maybe, maybe. I mean, some people, before they incarnate, decide to not put as many things in their plan. And some, I've actually seen some that freewheel it here, that kind of, the ones that kind of go from here to here, they bounce around and you think, how are they doing that? Don't they have a plan? Well, no, they actually don't. So, but free will, yes, that, I mean, really what it means is you may not have put that in your plan. You may have chosen to do something else. And free will, once you're here, free will may have said, I'm out. And you may have done that. So yeah, it's a good question. It's a tough question, but it's a good one. Um, oh, and what Mark, I love this question. He says, if we're doing really bad on our life journey here, and we go way off track, Are you telling us something? Do guides step again? That was me. See? Mercury retrograde. Our guides try to guide us, okay, on our plan because they know our contracts, they know what we want to accomplish here, and yet they have to watch us make some rough mistakes. And I always joke about this, but it's true. If you were a spirit guide and you can imagine on the other side, you're screaming at the person like, no, don't do that. Please don't do that. You've done that before. And it's tough. That's a tough one. It would be tough to be a guide. That's a tough one. It's like being a parent. It's tough. So good question. They can help us as much as they can, but there is free will here. So we just all hope that everybody makes good choices. As my daughter always says, make good choices, Mom.
And
So
we
I
have a
try.
caller now. Should we take a
Okay, here
caller?
we
Yes.
go.
All
Ready for
right.
caller.
Okay, Kim, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi there.
Hey, Kelly, it's Kim Ann.
Hi, Kim Ann.
First of all, I wanted to thank you for answering. Hi there. I wanted to thank you, first of all, for answering that question earlier today that I had posted about being a baby, coming home and screaming the whole way. That was very interesting. I didn't expect that answer, but that's really interesting.
I mean, it was such a shocking.
But my question was,
mm-hmm.
well, it is. I mean, I don't have children, but I would assume that most mothers would, if they had to leave their baby in the hospital, I would assume most of them would want to be the one to go get their baby.
Oh
and
my
the
God!
The aunt that held me, I grew up, very close to, and she was really like my mother rather than my mother. So that I always. I haven't told a lot of people that story, but the people I've told, I've said, that speaks volumes about my relationship with both of those women.
Of course.
7 days old coming home.
God. I mean, really, a therapist would have a field day with that. Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah, I'd have a thick file. You had brought up, I think back in December or maybe early January, you were talking about planetary things happening that cause truth to be revealed. And you were kind of alluding to the election. And I'm wondering if do you still feel that? Because we haven't really had any revelation concerning the election so far. Do you still feel that?
I don't know if it'll be so much about the election, but I feel that I did think that at the time. I thought, boy, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but there's a lot of shit that's going to go down here. I'm not sure if it's about the election now as it is a lot of other things are going to come out. We're still in a process of releasing the old and bringing in the new, the old versus the new. And I think we're going to see, we're not out of the shitstorm. We're just not out of it. I may feel like it on some days, but I know what you're saying. I think it's still going to be kind of intense yet to come. And I think we're going to see it moments of intensity played out throughout the year, which will bring up a lot of truth of different things. So that's the way best way I can answer that. Okay.
Do you feel that we will have to go through all of 2021 with, as you say, the shitstorm, or do you think that we will finally have a moment where we can go, okay, let's exhale?
I think we're going to have moments of exhale and moments of, oh my gosh. I think it's going to be like that. I do. I think that this is a year where the old is kind of, I don't know, broken up, and this new energy comes in, and that could bring up a lot of issues throughout the year, of anger issues, those kind of things. So it's going to be not an easy year. This is not like, oh, we're done with 2020 and now 2021. No, it's really not that way. It's more of this is like a kind of breaking down to rebuild year. So it will probably bring a lot of intensity.
So the journey is a road with potholes, not a smooth asphalt.
Right on. A lot of potholes here. Yeah.
Okay.
Hence, I still have my one.
Right.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks so much, Kim Ann.
Me too.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Kim.
there you go. And that bread, keep that bread going.
Bye.
So
Thank you for your call.
I have to answer this. Laura Parmley Hoffman says that she took my advice from last week about helping her students work through their emotions, and my students are having a great week. Thank you, Laura. I'm so glad that that helped with your students, and all you teachers out there. God bless you for doing what you're doing, because it's just phenomenal, phenomenal the work you guys are doing, and we all have to. We're all in this, and we all have to keep going. We all have to keep going, and one day those students, when they grow up, they'll remember what you taught them. So that's a really good thing. There was one question that somebody wrote to me that I did want to get to, and this was a really good question too. And this is from Amanda Taylor Moriarty. What's the best way to find peace and comfort after losing a loved one? I'm struggling with wanting to know that they're okay. Do you have any book suggestions maybe? So I have a lot of things I want to say about this. So the best way to find peace and comfort after a loved one. First, let me start with this. Um, they're not struggling. You would be the one that's struggling here. They're not struggling on the other side. They are okay on the other side. Once they leave the body, they're not in any more pain. And there's some energy that happens that lifts them up, and it lifts them up so much that they don't have that same energy that they had here. Instead, it's more of a positive flow of energy. And it's so the best way for us to find peace and comfort after a loved one is, first of all, it takes time. Grief takes time. I can't tell you, in the old psych books, it used to be that grief was 4 weeks. Can you imagine that? 4 weeks, please. Um, and now I think it's indefinite, but it really is indefinite, because you don't know when grief is going to strike you. You don't know. And to find peace and comfort, you have to be really gentle to yourself. You have to be really good to yourself. You have to be kind. If you don't feel like doing something, don't do it. Sleep. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable, because grief is grief. Nobody can move you through it. You just have to experience it. And there are a couple of things. James Van Praagh wrote a great book called Healing Grief. So that's a great book to check out, Healing Grief. And another place that I would go, that I send a lot of people to, is grief.com with David Kessler. David Kessler is a wonderful, kind grief specialist who's had a tremendous amount of loss. And he's got a lot of books on there that he's written. And he wrote a book with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who wrote the 5 or 6 stages of grief. And he's something. So be gentle on yourself. You're going to go through all the different stages. After my mom died, I was angry for a year. I'm not kidding you. For a full year, I was angry. And now I'm like, what was I angry about? I forgot. That's the other thing. Grief can come and go, and then somehow, through magic, I don't know, you start to feel better. I, I, I don't know, but you will feel better one day. Okay, so thank you for that question. That was a great question. Ardelia says, your show and James has been such a blessing for me to get through each week. Oh, I really appreciate your effort. Thank you so much, Ardelia. I appreciate you watching all the way from Australia. I'm going to have a guest on from Australia soon, like in the next couple of weeks, I think. Harry T, the famous medium from Australia, is going to be a guest on our show soon, or Delia. So thank you for watching. Hey, Connie Fogel, I hope you're feeling better, honey. Alyssa Watling, I just started sleeping on a grounding sheet for about 2 weeks. Good for you. I love my grounding sheets. I love them. My dreams have changed for about 2 weeks or so. I can recall more. You think it's the grounding mat sheet, astrology, or something else? No, it's the grounding sheet. So grounding sheets, you kind of like, I don't know how to explain them. They're called earthing, and I think I got mine at earthing.com. I think I did, but man, they're great. What they do is they just ground you into you sleep so well. Oh my God, everybody should have one of these sheets. They're just great. They just ground you. And the other thing that it's really good to get is this heavy weighted blanket. If you have anxiety or if you have trouble sleeping, this heavy weighted blanket, have you heard of that? It's really good somatically and therapeutically, a weighted blanket. That and a grounding sheet, you'll wake up fit as a fiddle, as they say. How is my book coming along? Well, isn't that a good question? I'm taking off, let's see, like in 2 weeks, I'm taking a full week off. So I can finish it all up. I've given it to an editor, and there were a lot of issues that I still had to put back together. So I'm going as fast as I can. Thank you. Liz Perez says, I use a grounding mat on my chair. Love it. A grounding mat on your chair, Liz? I'm going to order one tomorrow. I didn't even know they had that. But boy, is that a great thing to get. Thanks for that one. Oh yeah, grounding sheets are fabulous. You kind of plug them in. Wish I could explain it better, but you kind of plug it into some socket, but not to the socket, to something else in a socket. This is where the blonde comes in. I really don't know what I'm talking about. Poor Don. Thank God he knows, because I don't have a clue about how. But all I do know this: they work so well. So Mark Johnson says, who do I think has done the best at life so far, Jesus or Mother Teresa? I'm going to say Jesus. And who has done the worst? I'm going to say Hitler. That's it. I think that's how I'm going to answer that. Amazon sells the sheets. Oh, great. Thank you, Verna. Okay, I didn't know that. But anytime you can get grounding in, the grounding sheets or any of that, it's fantastic. So Maria says, what does it mean when you see your birth date everywhere, 622? Ooh, it's a good sign. That's a good sign. I love it when I see mine, 920. I'm always like, ooh, it's gives you a little goose. It means that the universe is paying attention to you. Pay attention back. Again, it's this miracle of life and all of these things. And I think that is fantastic. I just think it's great. And I wish I knew the scientific principle of it, but I don't know what the principle is, Karen Ann. All I know is it grounds you really well, and you feel so good when you sleep with one. Oh, grounding sheets are the best. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Let's see. Oh, Sherry Combs says, why am I being visited by all these red-tailed hawks? Oh, I love red-tailed hawks. They're keeping an eye out for you. A red-tailed hawk is the male psychic. They're the ones that watch over everything and everybody. They're terrific to have as a totem. If you guys ever see, all of a sudden you see something different that you're not used to seeing, or you see a lot of, like my niece, Peggy, who now has 19 red cardinals in front of her house, that means something. So pay attention. Pay attention to all of that. So I'm going to answer this. Okay. Susan Adarim says, hi, I have a question. Will I ever release a past love? It's a great question. Yes. Yeah, you will. There are people that say you cut cords. It's no such thing. I've had people that I have sent to work with Prajna Avalon over that, because sometimes that's a tough one for people. And Prajna is an energetic healer. She's an extraordinary healer that I've worked with for a long time now, and she's really great. And she does help with this in the energetic field. So she's at, you can find her on my website under resources, Prajna. And yes, yeah, you'll release a past love. Often what happens is you need to find a new love. That's the ticket. And then that really helps a lot. So I know that's a good question, though. Good question. Yeah. Oh, Becky Kinner McIntosh says Prajna helped her with this. Oh, I'm so happy, Becky. That's so great. Yeah, Prajna's amazing. Diane Ganick says, hi, Kellee. I just found out I'm pregnant. Anything you can tell me about the babies and the soul mission? Thanks. Well, first of all, whoa, Diana, congratulations. all the babies. We're going to have a pandemic, massive amount of babies that all want to be here. And the reason they want to be here is because they are bringing in this incredible light and energy. And I think that is fantastic. Congratulations, sweetheart. That's great. Yay, new babies. They mean a lot of things here. So that's great. Yes, Janet Gwillem, I did talk about the breaking of appliances. I did talk about it earlier. So if you listen to this again, you'll hear me talk about that. I swear I did. Susan Winslow, what does a deer mean as a totem? So deers often mean it's like to get very peaceful inside yourself and have your own inner strength. Often I see deers run out a lot. And in the acting world, deers represent who they are becoming. So it's a real interesting deer totem is a great one. It's really about learning about yourself and getting in touch with who you are. So that's, Liz Perez says the mat increases the magnetic energy because we spend our lives in shoes or sitting, connecting to the earth when you're unable to get out to soak your feet in the dirt. Go hug a tree. That's it. Thank you, Liz. You just explained it. Heather Wall Hendrickson, I can't remember what a rabbit means. I'm so sorry. I'll have to look that one up. I wish I could remember, but that has a significant meaning. In fact, we found a bunch of rabbits running around in the snow here. So it means something. I'll have to look that one up. So that's a good one. So I want to answer this one because this was on Instagram, Berlin4967. Do the spirits have a range of emotions on the other side? I sometimes feel my mom's emotions, and she doesn't come across as happy like I thought she'd be, but more like she was when she was here on Earth. Thank you. Well, I think, is that maybe did you work through any issues with your mom? That would really be the question. Did you work through any issues with your mom? Because they usually have a higher vibration, when they cross over. And so do you have any trepidation about your mom? Would really be where I would start with this one. It's a good question. It's a very good question. Well, everybody, unfortunately, we're going to end now. And I want to talk about a couple of things. And let me just make sure. I just want to make sure. So we have a show coming up. I am doing a workshop, I should say, with Jen Weigel. I think we have a couple of seats left, she said, on February 10th, and it's about toxic relationships. So if you want to join us to discuss toxic relationships, which is going to be a good one. Jen Weigel is fierce. You will love Jen. She's fabulous. And that's on February 10th, and it's in your home because it's on Zoom, and it's going to be an intimate discussion. So that's going to be a good one. I think it's at 6 p.m. Central Time, and it's a 2-hour webinar. And then if you've had difficult, toxic, bad siblings, please join Dr. Shirley and me for Bad Siblings, a rivalry gone wrong. And that's on February 27th. And you can get tickets on my site, on Both Sides Now TV site, on my Facebook page. And that's going to be really great because, and James is going to do a meditation in the end of that to kind of put us all back together again. And I know some of you have had good relationships with your siblings. Wow, that's amazing. That was not my experience. So hence bad siblings. Anyway, we'll keep those cards and letters coming, and I really appreciate everything the questions that you have. I so appreciate it. And join James and me on Monday night when we talk about the miracle of life. And that's going to be a really great show Monday night. So thank you, everybody. And thank you so much, Renee. Take care. Have a great week.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.